What's up? It's Mike Mal, and you are listening to the Athletor Podcast, where we dive into the processes, mindsets, strategies of some of the most successful athletes and coaches from all walks of life. What's up? It's Mike. You're listening to the Athletor Podcast. This week we have on two-time Big 12, one-time NCAA champion, Andrew Alirez, and the topics were really awesome. He goes into the decision-making process that it took to go into the transfer portal and then what ultimately led him to stay at UNC in Greeley, Colorado. We also get into just how massive of a cut 65K is and how that affected his performance at the 2024 Olympic team trials. And one more thing, he actually has someone on his Mount Rushmore of wrestling that we've never heard before. So sit down, strap in, and listen up, because it's the Athletor Podcast coming at you. We are joined by NCAA champion Andrew Alirez. Boo, how you doing, brother? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing great, man. Living the dream.
Yeah, you are. You're living the dream, but you're living it in Greeley, Colorado.
Yeah.
And up until fairly recently, we weren't sure we were going to see you in a Northern Colorado singlet again. So you got to walk me through the decision-making process that is A, going into the portal, and then B, deciding to stay at Northern Colorado, but C, who came up with the idea of the Wolf of Wall Street video review?
Yeah.
Because that was dope. I was like, fellas, that's how you do social media. That's well played, sir.
Yeah, that was I had right when I decided that I was staying, that was the first clip that popped up in my mind, and I was like, damn, that'll be the way to do it. I don't know how to edit or nothing. So I got
next time you want to do something like that, you come to me, I'll edit it and I'll make sure it looks pretty too. So go ahead.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, no, so that was really tight. I'm glad everybody liked it. But no, it was definitely a crazy process for sure. I mean, I get done with Olympic trials and things didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and just I wasn't like practicing or nothing, and then I trying to word my way around this, but yeah, I get the idea of kind of seeing what I'm worth on the open market, and because it's just different now, it's not.
It's different from when you came into college, bro.
Yeah,
like it's way different.
When I came into college, like just getting that scholarship was like the best. You get a couple grand at the end of the semester, and it's like, damn, I'm living good. That's what it was. And then now it's you're hearing all these things, and it's like, okay, well, let me at least see. I feel like I owed it to myself. I've wrestled my whole life. I've given my whole life to the sport, since I was 4 years old, and I felt like it would have been doing a disservice to myself to just kind of just take whatever and not even at least go out and know what's out there for me. So I figured out that I'd go check. This is wrestling. This isn't a sport where we get to go on to the next level and make millions and millions of dollars like the NFL or NBA, like all these other sports. It's a lot easier for them to be able to stay at whatever college they're at because they know they got big money coming for sure. But so I went out through the process, jumped in the portal, and then I started hearing out all the offers. It wasn't really about like I only took one visit, so it wasn't like I wasn't too. I'm already old now for a wrestler, not
right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a tricky thing to say, right? Because like you have some miles on you for sure, and you only have so much eligibility. Okay, so there's that, but it's not. So I guess what and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you have to fit a specific need for a specific school. Am I correct?
Yeah, everything kind of has to work out, and I'm not I wasn't taking all my visits because, you know, it wasn't really about like how cool the campus is and stuff. So I only took one, but I was hearing out offers from everybody and taking them very seriously. And the way things just progressed, and it ended up working out for me to be able to stay here and be able to represent my hometown some more and give the people down here in Greeley something to watch about, something to be excited about. So I'm very grateful the way it happened. I mean, like people can say whatever they want about, oh well, he jumped in the portal. That's not like being loyal, blah blah blah. Like you got to be able to be loyal to yourself as well. So I felt like I had to at least see my options and try to put myself in the best position possible, not for my overall life, you know. So and I feel like I did that, and now I'm in a great situation, a place where I wanted to be anyway. You know, I never wanted to leave, but at a certain point, it was like, wow, I gotta at least, you know, hear this out. I
You got
can't
a
just
Ferrari and you're keeping it in the garage. I don't think it's a good idea. But let's be honest about it, right? And all those people that say, "Oh, it was disingenuous. You go into the portal at all. If you were really that loyal, you wouldn't went into the portal." Something tells me they're older than me, and that's old. And here's why. Number one, they don't understand the economics that are involved in college wrestling right now.
Yes.
Okay. They don't understand. Like this is a different sport than it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago when you came into school. All right. But to say it's different from when they all went to school in the 70s and 80s, well, it's a completely different thing. Okay. So they probably don't understand the economics involved in college wrestling today. Number two, they're also coming from a place where they're like at my age, they're pretty secure in their financial setting, right? Like where they are in their financial life. And it's easy to pass judgment there from making 6 figures a year and going, hey kid, you got to pay your dues too. Well, I am paying my dues. I've been paying my dues. So what is it that you learned in the process of taking one visit, entertaining a couple offers? What did you learn about this crazy NIL world that we live in right now?
Yeah, the one thing I learned was that you're never going to be as, I don't know what the word is, I'd say profitable as you are while you're in college. I think being tied to a university and the way things are going right now with like donors and boosters and everybody just wanting to throw money at you and it's different when you get on the senior level. Like if you're not winning Olympic titles and world titles, you're not going to be, you could be a guy who's like a top 7 guy and get paid pretty damn good and while you're in college, but then once you're done with college, it's not as
you're top 7 on the senior circuit. Nobody gives a shit. Let's be honest.
That exactly. That's what
I'll say it for you. Nobody cares, bro. Like look, I like guys like Seth Gross. I freaking love that dude. I love that dude. But he's made one team. He made a team.
Yeah.
Right. You ain't made it. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but
no,
you ain't made a senior team.
Yeah.
Still, no one cares. You're not going to get paid the same amount of money as when you're winning NCAA titles for even a smaller university like SCSU when he was there. So the marketability comes with the uniform. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds stupid to a lot of people, but it's the
true
truth,
though. Because
right?
It's like it's crazy true. Because like when I'm going through this process, it's like, okay, you could get this for this year, and then like you could get this for if you stay and want to wrestle freestyle and do all this, and it's drastically different.
Drastically smaller. Let's call it what it is. It's a drastically smaller number.
Because you're just when in the sport of wrestling, I feel like you're just never gonna be as marketable when you're out of college. I mean, you're seeing a lot of people stay for their 5th, 6th year now, and it's like a lot of that's most likely. Obviously, I don't know everyone's situation, but a lot of it's going to be financial because of financial. It's not going to be because
they super need Mickey O'Malley. Listen, let's be honest. Mickey O'Malley does not need a 7th year so that he can win another EIWA title. Okay, exactly. Let's be completely honest about it. Mickey O'Malley's going 7. You got 7? Oh, that's a tough
college wrestling is hard, man.
It's so hard.
No way these dudes want to be staying here that long. So you know what's going on, and it's like because when I first got to college, like after my freshman year, and I was getting hurt a lot, I was like, man, I'm doing my 4 and I'm done. And it's like now I'm going into my 6th year, baby.
I'll work it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out, you know. But yeah, it's just a different game nowadays. It's just different. So, you know, people, like you said, there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, you gotta pay your dues. Like you should just be happy that, you know, you're getting a scholarship and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, you know, because if anybody was in my situation, they're probably gonna leave most likely.
Yeah. So because I may or may not have been privy to some of the numbers, and you took less to stay home. Am I correct?
I won't get into all that, but yeah, it's I think especially when I first jumped in the portal, like they would have been gone fast. You know, sure. I gave everybody some time to so no quick decisions were made and everything, and I continued having conversation with Troy, and we were talking, and then things just ended up working out the way they worked out, and it worked out very well for me. So everyone, it's just like, dude, we're not the NFL. I can't just bank on going to the NFL and make $1 million. So
what another thing that people don't realize is that, well, all you got to do is go win an Olympic gold medal. Oh, is that all? I'm sorry. Is that all? That's it. Okay, cool. Because there's only 6 spots. Okay, on the U.S. team, and that's every 4 years.
Yeah, every 4 years, and it's like, man, it's tough. The margin of error is so small. You know, it's like, just go win an Olympic title. It's like, okay, do I believe I could win an Olympic title?
Yes.
100%. I know I can. I know I could come off the couch and I could wrestle with anybody. Off the couch, not saying I'm gonna win all the time, but I could wrestle with anybody. I could beat anybody, and that's just coming off the couch. And I 100%, 1,000% believe that. But it's like when the margin of error is that small, and you got to go through a tournament, and then a 2 out of 3, and God forbid you're injured or you're
and you ain't even make it to the Olympic Games yet, because there's some bad dudes at 65K.
Exactly.
Musakayev don't give a shit about your couch, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. So what happens, like, if you don't get it done? Then what do those people say? It's like, okay, now what? Now they just say, sorry, kid, next time.
Yeah, next time. Should have cashed in, and then they'll Monday morning quarterback that and go, well, you should have cashed in college. Oh, thanks, bud. Thanks.
Yeah, you should have cashed it in college, for real. So at some point, you gotta look out for yourself, especially in the sport of wrestling, where it's like, I know that sounds bad saying it.
No, it's not. No, we got to start getting away from that, bud. We got to stop apologizing for that.
Yeah, for real. No, it's just I think, and it's different too when you can't like disclose all of that, and so people don't know, so then they could just assume what they want to assume, and then everyone is believing whatever they want to believe. So it's like it's just weird. I think eventually they're gonna do something like a salary cap or something. I just feel like something's coming for sure, because I don't know if wrestling could continue going down this path, because then you're just going to have everybody jump in. Like, who's to say you come in as a freshman, you're really good, and you win it your first year, and then you just transfer the next 3 years.
Bro, it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. If you don't think that David Taylor is somehow talking to Levi Haynes right now, you're a crazy person.
100%.
You're a crazy, and like I'll call him out. Like not that I'm calling him out, but like people don't like to talk about that stuff on air. Like I know it's got to be going on, right? Like he'd be foolish not to.
Yeah, it's the game nowadays, because if you're not doing stuff like that, and then other people are, especially if you're one of those top blue chip or like power programs, historic power programs, the dudes across the street are doing it. So what are you gonna do? Just fall behind, or are you gonna try to compete? And that's how, like, it's just it's crazy. I think eventually they're either gonna put like a cap, or they're gonna like maybe make you disclose everything, or just something like that. I saw something with how they're gonna let the schools pay you or something like that. I don't know how that affects wrestling. I
don't know that it's gonna be great, if I'm
really
gonna be honest. Yeah. So it came down 2 weekends ago that they, and Joel, you might even have some insight on this as well. It came down about 2 weeks ago that the NCAA has allowed for the academic institution to actually provide payment for play. Because look, let's be honest, right? When NIL in its inception was supposed to be, we're using your name, image, and likeness. If I own a car dealership, I can put a poster of Alirez outside saying "Buy my cars," and I can pay you for that. It was never supposed to be, I'm paying you to wrestle for Northern Colorado, or paying you to wrestle for me. Okay. But we all know that's what it became. Let's call it what it is, right? Like,
you start buying your team if you got it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's working out for some teams. However, they knew that was a Pandora's box that they couldn't put the lid back on.
No, people would throw
it's gone. Like it's gone. So, Joel, do you have some more insight on that right now, or not?
I think from what I've heard, basically schools have 20 to 25 million that they can spend, but I don't know that they've set aside rules on how that gets allocated. From what I've been seeing, I think it's like up to the schools as to how they want to break that money up.
Like a free game?
Yeah, so theoretically it could be like, our football program is, 85% of the school's athletic income, and so we're going to take 85% of that 20 million, which ends up being, I don't know what the math is, 17 18 million. We'll go to the football program, and then I assume the rest will get divvied up into small chunks. But
again, it is now going to be literally pay to play. Like,
dang, that's crazy.
We're paying you to play ball. We're paying you to wrestle in this thing.
Most of that money is probably going to football and basketball, I would imagine.
100%. 100%. You have to take care of your revenue sports first. And I get that. But and that's why I say, the more money that gets injected from the institution itself is probably not good for wrestling, right? Because we know at any major institution that has a football team, they're gonna lean towards their revenue sports.
For sure.
But anyway, anything else on that, Joel, or can we just move on? All right, cool. All right, let's talk wrestling though. Let's talk some X's and O's. Tell me about how you felt about your lead up to the Olympic team trials and then the tournament itself.
Yeah, I was training really hard and for a long time, and it went good. I went out there. Well, it didn't go good, but training went good, and I went out there and I threw it on the line. I mean, I don't feel like I wrestled my best, but it shit happens, and I went out there, didn't get the job done, and that's just how life goes sometimes. I think just tactically a little bit, I could have been a lot smarter in there, and but my shape was good. I was strong. I was fast. I think I might have did a little too much and got myself kind of like a little mentally fatigued because those last 2 weeks were like kind of shitty. But but no,
I can't imagine 65K is any fun for you either.
No, man, it really sucks. Like I hate cutting weight, but
you know, like intellectually, I think you know that you're an in-betweener, right? Like even in college, you're probably in between 41, 49, right? You're probably in between.
Day weigh-in and 2 hour weigh-in. It's just like it kind of it sucks. I just have to, because when I'm not ultra disciplined, like if I'm not ultra disciplined, I'm 172 pounds. Like I'm getting up there, but also I blame it on being Hispanic because I blow up kind of, but it's like I'm heavy enough, but am I really that big? So
yeah, you got dense bones.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I mean I wrestled pretty well at 67. Every time I wrestled plus 2 kilo, I've done really well. But I do a good job of making the weight, and well, when I'm locked in, I think that's one thing from now to season. I'm gonna have to really be a lot smarter about that and not let myself get too big, because that's kind of the main thing. I feel like of my career, a lot of times when things hasn't gone the way I wanted them to go, it was a lot of weight related, like just not being as disciplined as I could have been. Like my whole junior year of college, man, that was a nightmare. It was horrible. Yeah, I wasn't smart with it. I was blowing up after every duel. I wasn't like I didn't bring my body weight down. I was just cutting weight. And then after you get through 5, 6, 7 of those weight cuts towards the end, you're just like, damn, man, I am ready to be done weighing in. And then that next summer, because I had a fire lit under my ass, I was locked in. I got my weight down. I was chilling around 55, and then when season came, I was chilling around like 48. So I was
really,
I was ultra perfect. But yeah, it takes that for me to get down there. But I know I got to, and I need to get a better check on my weight for sure, because yeah, when I start fighting, I want to fight 35. So I know
good Lord.
I need to get down. So I'm gonna try it for sure. But
okay, cool. Cool. I'm not signing off on that, but all right, fine. Do your own thing. I love you. I love you. I don't want to see you at 135 pounds, bro. All right. So let me ask you this: is an Olympic red shirt a good thing? Because and let's just pretend that eligibility doesn't exist, right? Like you don't have to worry about, can I come back for another year at UNC and whatever. Let's pretend. Were you well served from not competing in college this past season?
I think I was. I think I needed to make better with all the time I had, because you could only train so much, right? You can only realistically train 2, maybe 3 times a day if you're like going.
That's a lot. That's pushing. Yeah.
That's a lot though. So what is that? 2, 4, 5 hours probably tops of the day. Then you got the rest of the day, and especially when you have to be perfect with your diet, it's like I was just like kicking it around the house being miserable. So that part kind of sucked. It was a lot easier making weight when I was going to class and I had all these things to do, because you're busy, you're not thinking about nothing like that. So from that perspective, I would say finding hobbies or just finding something to do. Otherwise, from a training aspect, I think I got a lot better because I was just able to focus on me training and getting better. Like like for the open, I felt like I was firing. I was wrestling really well. And even at the open, I was a little hesitant, but I was still scoring. I was still doing what I needed to do. And mentally, I felt great. But then as we started getting into the months later is when it started kind of taxing on you a little bit. And yeah, so it's different for sure. Another thing is when you get to that point, then you kind of start getting a little not bored in practice, but like I got to the point where I was like almost just thinking about like, fuck, I need to lose at least this much in this practice. And
that's what it becomes. It becomes a math equation. Like, hey,
Exactly.
if I don't get this water off now, if I don't burn this many calories, bro, I like that's a bad way to be. Like I know
yes,
you have
horrible.
to be. But it's a bad way to be, dude. It's not like people don't understand like that type of thought process is exhausting.
It crumbles you. Because after a while of it, it's like okay, I'm still 3 months out, but I'm trying to be perfect. I'm trying to live perfect. And then it gets to where it's like you're going into practice and you're like, damn, if I don't lose this, then I'm going to have a shitty dinner. I can't really eat as much as I want to. And then, like when you're practicing just specifically for you, your practices aren't very long versus like a team practice. Like my practices, a lot of the times were like 45 minutes to an hour, maybe.
Yeah, because you're getting every rep.
Exactly. So it's like I could go balls to the wall and I'm still not going to lose as much as I would in like a college practice. So that was pretty tough. And that's a horrible mindset to be in. Well, because once you get in there, it's hard to shake that. It's hard to change it. And I think that's why after Olympic trials, I like blew up right away. Because I was like,
oh yeah, I'm going in and out. I'm going in and out, bro.
Exactly. Can't nobody tell me nothing because I'm going. I'm going out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and can't nobody tell me shit.
Yeah. Well, okay. So it's funny. All right. So, and like, I'm saying this only because I want you to come out here and visit. It's a lot easier to do that when it's 75 and sunny.
Yeah.
In February and March. I'm telling you right now, dude.
Really? I can imagine.
We want like these kids. My son comes out of practice with his shirt off in February.
That's nice.
It's a lot easier when you're counting those calories. Maybe you go for a hike because you can,
Exactly. No, like what I used to do during the college season is I used to walk everywhere. I used to walk to school. I used to do everything. If it was a little farther, I'd bust out my bike during the summer. Yeah. But then when it starts getting cold, everything gets a little harder, man.
Harder to talk yourself into strapping those boots on and walking outside when it's 22 degrees.
And then it's on you too. It's not like team practice. You have to be there. It's kind of like, okay, I'm doing my own thing. Maybe if I want, I could kind of like just not do it. So it's tough, it's a brutal wrestling's just it's hard, man. It's really hard, but I love it. So, and it's awesome because you just go through these periods where sometimes you could be just completely zeroed in where nothing could stop you. Like to the point where like I've been locked into the point where like I'm cutting a lot of weight and I'm not even hungry. I
almost like it. You almost like it.
Yes, exactly. I was liking it because I felt like an animal. Yeah. Like I was I almost got off on like being hungry like that and going to practice and being like I could have bread and water and come beat everybody's ass.
And jack everybody up. Everybody up.
So
that's a thing though, man. So how do you so here's the trick, right? Here's the trick. How do we trick ourselves into that mindset? And I'm asking you, maybe you got the answers, maybe you don't, but how do we trick ourselves into that mindset as opposed to the shit. I gotta get 6 pounds off this practice, or else I ain't gonna be able to eat, man.
Exactly. No, it's just I think there's just a lot that goes into it, because I want to say it's just being driven and motivated, but
Be nice, right?
like for the Olympic trials, that's the biggest tournament I've ever been in, and like you can't get more motivated like that. But for some reason, I didn't have that feeling when you're
Sure.
like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more of creating habits of every day winning that day. And I'm talking about not even just winning to the point of, oh, okay, I didn't eat that or I didn't do that. It's almost winning the mental battle of not even wanting to do that or not even entertaining that thought. And I think when you do that for weeks on weeks and you start winning those battles to the point where you're not even entertaining the thought of that, I think that's when you get into that mindset. Because I could have a cheeseburger in front of me and I could be like, oh man, that would taste so good, but I'm not going to do it, but it would be awesome. Like when you start thinking like that, it's going to be hard to get into that mode. But when you could just be like, I don't want that, like I got to do this, like, and not entertain it. I think once you make a habit of that, I think that's when you start getting in that mode. If I had to guess, it's hard because obviously if I knew perfect, I'd be able to be like that all the time. But
11-9 to Nick Lee. There's a good, I don't want to say a good chance. I think he has a very good chance of medaling. A smaller tournament, meaning the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Or Zane rather. Sorry. He lost to Nick Lee. Zane wins. I think Zane is going to medal. How far do you think that a better matchup for you would have been Zane?
It's just hard to say because I mean I've wrestled with these guys and in practice and I know when I'm right, I'll beat anybody. And I don't care what anybody says. If you want to really find out, go watch the tape and you find out for yourself. And you'll know that because I know who I am and what I could do. I think it's just a matter of going out and doing it and making the decisions to go win. There was a couple positions that I got in and I was just too antsy to score it, when realistically I got in on that single. You feel the position a little bit, you make a decision. You either split middle or you try to run up or you bail out and just come up with an underhook. And I sat in that kind of middle ground for too long on two separate occasions, and it ultimately costed me the match. I think if I was making those decisions right away, I believe I win that match. And then I believe I go on and I beat whoever I got to beat. But yeah, things just kind of, they play out the way they have to play out. I think Nick Lee was a lot longer than I thought he was.
He's got some length to him, right?
Yeah. Like I was in on my single and it was kind of a weird position because usually I could either pop my head out to the side or split middle pretty easy, but he was long enough to like be wrapped around me and heavy on my back while still being far away to easily elevate. So yeah, he causes some problems in there for sure. I mean, everybody's good in there, but yeah, it's just how things go. It's hard to get into like who would have.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not trying to make you. I just stylistically though.
Yeah, I mean Zane comes forward a lot. I think. Yeah. Obviously, I'm gonna say I think I could have went out there and got to him. Like he's coming at me. I think I could have got to his leg and scored. But things just kind of unfold the way they unfold, and I think to win tournaments like that, you got to be on your best A game physically, mentally, spiritually. Everything needs to be dialed in. And when it's your time, it's your time. And when it's not, it's not. And it's just going to be a matter of how are you going to respond from that? Are you going to take it and grow from it, or are you going to kind of sit back and, you could point the finger at whoever you want to point the finger at, but that ain't going to help you. So, I think for me, it's just sitting back, really thinking about my own game and trying to develop and recognize the areas I need to get better in.
Something tells me that, well, first of all, do you think you're going to wrestle in the world team trials at 70K for the non-Olympic team trials?
Probably not. I think I'm just gonna focus on the folk style season, the college year, because yeah, you gotta go out there and you gotta do your job. And I came back for my last season. I'm not coming back just to wrestle. I'm coming back to get the job done and do what I expect myself and what a lot of other people expect me to do, and that's go do your job. So I'm going to really focus on that. I wasn't really planning on going to wrestling. I kind of had that thought cross my mind just to be like, how
I also, and like, here, I'm not trying to talk you into it. I do, however, I get excited at the prospect of a fully fed Alirez. Like that's very interesting to me. 70K. 152 pounds? I ain't bad cut, bud.
No, I could, if I have time to train for it, like that would be very comfortable for me. I wouldn't have to miss too many meals or nothing at all. So that thought has crossed my mind, and I've kind of wondered, because I'm like, I just wonder how I would feel. Like, would those guys feel like really big to me, or maybe I go out there and I just wrestle great? So
maybe you go out there and you start smoking dudes and knocking them out of their shoes because you're so much faster.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's an interesting thought. Who knows? I'm not closing the doors on anything right now. But
yeah, but here's the thing, though. Let's pretend for a second that you do wrestle in the college season, wind up making it back to the world team trials next year. I have a feeling that 65K is probably going to, a lot of guys are going to vacate the weight. I don't think Yanni is making 65 in non-Olympic years. I don't think Zane Rutherford is making 65 in non-Olympic years. Joey McKenna even, right, has talked about like
a lot of the guys at 65 kilos struggle with the weight. Like most of the guys, like in most the weight line, it's pretty funny. We're all just sitting pretty damn miserable.
Yo, let me tell you something. If I have to sit back and watch Alec Pantelio make 65 kilo one more time, I might puke in my mouth. All right, I love that kid. He's a great dude. He's a great dude. I'm like, bro, just stop. Please stop. I feel bad for him, man. You can't tell him, like, he wrestled 57 in college.
I cannot believe that he did that. And
unbelievable.
And it's crazy. Like, at that point, winning the Olympic Games is the biggest thing you could do in wrestling, right? But man, at that point, do you even sacrifice yourself and your capabilities? Because you ain't gonna wrestle good down there. Like you know it. I'm sure he's bigger than me, and it's tough for me to make it. And I'm thinking sometimes, like, if my stuff don't go right, I'm not gonna wrestle that good. So I can imagine some of these other guys too trying to come down and wanting to wrestle really well, and it's just tough. But then I see the flip side too, because then if you don't do it, you're always gonna be like, well, maybe I could have did it. So I get the flip side, but yeah, I think that the hardest part is just having to do it twice, because it's one thing making the weight one time because you could just make it once and then you're good. When you have to do it twice, not only do you have to do your big pull, you also have to bring your body weight down. Like, okay, if you really want to compete well, you're going to have to bring your body weight down to something close that you could rehydrate up to in 2 hours without being gorged and being able to wrestle well. So for me, like, I try to get my weight down for 65 kilo. I should not be walking around heavier than 152 because realistically in 2 hours, I'm probably without IVs and stuff. Like, I don't know how you could gain that much weight without feeling like shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, not only do you have to make that weight 2 times, you have to bring it down and live there. And that's what makes it. That's the difference between like MMA and wrestling, because you could do a big pull and make it. But if you don't have to do it again and you have a lot of time, you can feel a lot better because you got time. But when you got to do it 2 hours, man, 1 hour is crazy college, but 2 hours is still not enough time to get to where you want to be. So that's a whole thing. It's tough, man.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
All right. We got Joel, you want to get to these quick questions or are we ready to rock? Okay, cool. Here we go. 3 quick ones. Don't think about them. Just fire the answer. Ready?
Yeah.
He said ruh-roh.
I know.
All right. What's the best wrestling shoe of all time?
Combat Speed.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Combat's black and red all day. All right. You get 4. They got to be American. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
Jordan Burroughs, John Smith. Probably throw Bruce on there.
Okay.
And then for the last one, it's my list, so I'm going Henry Cejudo.
Love it.
Yeah.
Dude did a lot for the sport. You call it what you want. The dude did a lot for the sport. Like he brought, like, you got a Coke sponsorship? Okay. All right. I'll take that. That's a lot, dude. All right. Is that our first time getting Cejudo on it? Is it? I got to talk to him.
First time.
Nice. I like that. That's a good one. All right. You got a magic wand. You get to change one thing about the sport of wrestling. What is it?
I would make everyone have to, like, I would make weigh-ins to the point where you just got to step on the scale. Like, I know it'd be hard to do it because it'd make tournaments take forever probably, but like right before you wrestle, you got to step on. So we all can make just an agreement. Everyone could just be like, all right, we're going to get our body lean and healthy, look strong, but we're going to have to wrestle at that weight. So I think that's what I would do.
You know what's crazy about that, Boo? And listen, man, I've been around this sport my whole life, all right? That is the simplest fix that nobody likes to talk about.
I know.
We all got scales, don't we? We can plug them in right there, can't we? What are we doing?
Just step on right there, and then it's like
step on.
Then you're forced to just be healthy. Yeah.
Bro,
are you on weight or not?
It's the simplest solution that nobody wants to talk about. Because probably because there's nobody that can make money off of it.
I know.
You know, like I remember, so you might be too young to remember, well, you're definitely too young to remember this, but in 1997, unfortunately, a few kids died and they were cutting weight the wrong way. They were doing it with creatine, so that was bad. But in the NCAA, in all their wisdom, they said, well, we're all going to have to do weight certification processes, and they all have to be on Tanita scales. just so happened that one of the board members owns Tenito. Well, that's weird, isn't it? That seems convenient there, doesn't it?
If it makes money, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes money, it makes sense. You got it, brother. Well, look, man, I am so excited for you. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your college season. I'm excited to watch you in a UNC singlet. I'm really stoked for you. If you ever want to make your way out to San Diego and come train with us, you are more than welcome to do that.
Oh, I would love to.
You come out whenever you want, especially when it's like cold out there. Ooh, I don't do it.
I know.
All right, big dog. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you real soon.
For sure. Have a good one.
Wait. Don't go anywhere before you hit that next button. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, do us a huge favor. Click that subscribe button. And if you're so inclined, leave a review and share it.
What you wanna know, man? Welcome to the show.